Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, people of all ages, welcome back to the Sticky Floors podcast. I am one of your hosts, CJ. I am joined by Mr. Will. Listen, we are back. We got another movie for you tonight. We are talking about The Furious. Now, there's a chance that you may not have even known that this movie was out. But fortunately, me and Mr. Will went and saw it. And we about to tell you about it tonight. It's going to be a heck of a conversation. Mr. Will, what's up with you? How you doing tonight, sir?
Man, I'm doing real well. Excited to talk about this joint, yo.
Me too. Me too. Like this is what you go to the movies for, man. Not, I'm gonna bury the lead a little bit, but not all the way. Like this is one of them ones, man. So listen, if this is the first time joining the Sticky Floors podcast, thank you for joining in. We talk about stuff in theaters, out of theaters, never been in theaters. This one is in theaters right now, today, as we're doing this episode. It's in theaters right now. We're going to go through it in detail. Spoilers will happen. Please be prepared. Make sure you tie your bootstraps up because this is all gas, no brakes on this one, man. Yo, Mr. Will, give us the summary, man, so we can get into this one. Jeez.
Yeah, man. This is one of my favorite out of this summer joint, out of the movies we've seen. This is one of my favorite ones.
So far, yeah, definitely. This is up there
so far. Yep. Yeah, definitely. The Furious is a relentless, brutal action thriller centered on Wang Wei, a mute handyman whose quiet life shattered when his young daughter, Rainey, is abducted by a ruthless child trafficking syndicate operating somewhere in Southeast Asia. Refusing to accept the indifference of the corrupt authorities, Wei launches a desperate search that quickly reveals a vast criminal network protected by powerful figures in both business and law enforcement. Along the way, he reluctantly teams up with Navin, a chain-smoking husband searching for his missing journalist wife who disappeared while investigating the same organization. What begins as a father's rescue mission evolves into a war against an entire system that profits from exploitation, with each discovery, driving the two gentlemen deeper into the increasing violent confrontation.
There it is. There it is. So listen, you called it like a violent. What were the words you used to describe this joint, man? What was it? What did you say? Violent, furious action film. It is. It's all of those things, man. So these are the details. Like, my apologies if I mess the names up here. This movie stars Mo Tse, Joe Taslim, Brian Lee, Joey Iwanaga.
I think it's Iwanaga.
That's good. Iwanaga. Thank you. I appreciate that. Why did you say that before? When it was in the pre-production, that would help me out. Anyway.
Because I was crazy.
Why did you let me sound racist on camera, man? You could have just said something before. Anyway, young Enyou. That's so raggedy, man. And Yayan Ruhian. So I'm back. All right, this movie was originally released in 2025 in Hong Kong, but was re-released in the United States on June 12th. So like I said, it's in theaters now. It's rated 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb. Cost $20 million to bring to the United States. It's already made $17 million just since the time that it came out. And as of the time of this recording, it deserves every dollar that it made, man. This is a really good watch. So we got to get into this, man. First, I mean, like, this is like such a classic, simple, well-executed film, man. The analogy is like, if you like pizza, if somebody, a perfect slice of cheese pizza needs nothing else on it. You don't need to put pepperoni, sausage, bacon, olives. You don't need to put anything on it. It's perfectly done. That's how this movie is. It's a perfectly done martial arts film. There's no love story. They ain't try to do nothing else but just work from the premise that you're a dad, somebody kidnapped your daughter. What would you do together?
You know, the dope thing about this too, though, is that there are elements of love, but it's not, like CJ said, a stereotypical love story.
Mm-hmm.
Like I led with in the synopsis, Joe Taslim's character Navin, his wife is straight front and center fighting this dude right from the beginning. There's no words, there's no nothing.
Before you even get your popcorn really set up in your lap, this is on.
So you got to be there on time. If you miss anything, It's a wrap. Um, the fights are so well choreographed. They're so detailed. Um, I went with my lady, and the one thing she said was, "If you get hit with a sledgehammer to the chest, you're not getting up."
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
I
the,
agree with that. I
and I
agree.
agree.
How could
I
you
told
not?
her,
How could you
and
not?
I told her, I was like, I get it, but that's not the point of the movie.
Right,
Like, you
right,
gotta
right,
put
right,
that
right,
aside.
right.
The whole point was the visceral reaction to what would you like. I can't overemphasize this enough. The guttural instinct, if you're a parent, is what
Mhm.
would you do? What lengths would you go to for
Yeah.
your child?
Yep.
And there's been countless stories, whether it be rest in peace, Old Dirty, lifting up a car to rescue a
Hmm.
child because he was a daughter, because he has daughters, or even the lady who lifted a part of a bus
Yeah.
in order to get like. There's
Parent strength,
tremendous
man.
stories about just the adrenaline and
Hmm.
being in the moment and not knowing what comes over you because of the lengths you would go to, as CJ reminded me, to protect something so fragile.
Hmm.
um and you wear your heart, as a parent, you wear your heart on your sleeve. So the fact that he's mute and unable to actually get out a guttural response like
That's
"hey"
a
or "stop."
man. That's a great point. That his inability to talk strengthens his character
Yeah.
throughout the movie. Whoever came up with that idea, man, give that person a raise. Just it makes it he has to do so much more with his face, and it makes you
Yes.
pay attention to it. And yet the idea of how much he loves his daughter is clear throughout the film without him ever having to say it.
Correct. And the thing that even doubles down on it is they don't go into a whole like, here's your here's your backstory
Yeah.
about your childhood and
Hmm.
this, that, and the third, and how did you become a mute and all this other stuff, or where's your wife? And the daughter even has those questions.
Yeah.
So that leads like another layer where it's like, wow, they're just starting to reformulate or recalibrate the relationship.
Yeah.
So the loss of the mother must have been something new that she's like, and she even tells him, when mom died, I lost you too.
Yeah.
So now it hits home even harder
Yeah.
as to why he would go to such lengths and to such extremes to get her back.
Yeah. And she plays the perfect like preteen daughter role where
Yes.
I don't really want to listen to you and all
Mm-hmm.
this kind of stuff, which anyone who's had daughters knows that's what it is like. It's just
Yes.
like it's just like I said, it's just proof that you don't need to do a lot to do it well.
No.
Immediately, you as a viewer, you are sure this person cares about their daughter, the daughter cares about him,
Mm-hmm.
she's in jeopardy, he's going to do whatever it takes. And even if you're not a father, you get that watching the
Oh
film.
yeah.
You get it,
Oh
you
yeah.
understand it, and everything that happens from that point, you're like, cool. I'm willing to believe he's going to do
Mm-hmm.
that, especially after the scene where he goes to the police station and they basically drag
Oh.
him in there, and you later find out that it's because the chief is like dirty too.
Yeah, he's corrupt
But
too.
they weren't really giving him the response that he needed for that situation, and for him have to write things down and them like treating it
Mm.
like, what is this talking about? Like that kind of stuff. Like, and they're investigating him while he's trying to figure out
Yeah.
who took his daughter. It's just it's like right away, it just goes 0 to 9. They just turn the dial up right from the beginning. And as a viewer, you're like, you don't even have really a chance to settle into your chair before the
No.
action gets started.
And that's another thing too. When after he drags himself through the ringer and getting to the police department, you see the contusion on his head.
Yep.
He had got hit on the side, so there's more bleeding. His leg and his arm. They show him go back to his home,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very meager dwelling space. And the first thing he does is he's washing off all the blood. You see all the bruises on his body of what
Mm-hmm.
but he's ignoring the pain. His mission is, I'm coming to get a new set of clothes,
Yep.
fresh bandages, and a hammer.
Yeah. And a
And then
hammer.
I'm
And
gonna
a
go
hammer. Yeah.
and then I'm going to the club where I know that this one guy is the
Mm-hmm.
only lead I am, and I don't care what it is, I'm going to beat the truth out of him.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are, as CJ said. You don't even have to be a parent. It could be your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, whoever, a loved one. And just that instinct of, look, I have got to get this person back. I don't care what lengths I have to go to. I don't care what it is that's in my way. None of these things matter. I'm going to make it happen. He gets to the club. There are insurmountable odds. There are professional cage fighters in the middle
Yeah,
of the club
yeah.
fighting,
It's
trained men to fight.
yeah, yeah. It's just yeah. I mean, you even into my cake right now. I mean, like it's just yeah. I mean, let's get to the cake. I'm just gonna jump. Yeah, let's go. Go ahead. You go. You can go first, man. Let's go. Let's go because we're
Well,
gonna talk about all the things by talking about the movie. So this is we're in it. We're this. Yeah, let's go. Let's do
the first thing is CJ once told me anger gets stuff done. And
it.
this is a prime example of getting stuff done. So I love the fact that
Yeah,
this guy is a no holds barred, takes action.
yeah,
I'm gonna get it done regardless of what it takes to get this done. The next thing is I love the choreography, as I mentioned,
yeah.
the fight scenes,
Very
whether it
well
be
done. Very
no
well
matter
done.
where they are. So whether it be on the truck or in a a very confined space, no lighting, et cetera, it doesn't matter. In the club,
Yeah,
up the staircase, up the stairwell, whatever. Um, the next thing that I definitely felt like, wow, this is so dope, is that the cast of individuals where I may not have known their names, but I knew their
yeah.
faces
You seen him in other things.
in
Mm-hmm.
other things going on. So, for example, the guy Taco, the archer guy,
Mm-hmm.
he was in
The
John
John
Wick,
Wick 3.
and
Yeah, in the scene with
yeah,
the in the mirror room. Yeah,
yeah, in the
with the other
mirror
guy.
room.
Yeah,
And he was also in the raid, and he was
yeah,
also
yeah. He
in
was with the
um
nah. He always got a
yeah,
bunch of knives with him too, man.
yeah, he always got a
He
dagger,
always got a
man.
bunch of
Like
knives. He does. He does. He should have been
my
Knife Man instead of Arrow Man.
something like that's why I was like, how you walking around with a bow and arrow when your
Right,
thing is having
right.
knives and blades?
With an Adidas tracksuit on.
Yeah, make
Yo,
that make sense.
yo,
But
that's a
whatever.
great look, great look.
I definitely loved Joe Talsma in this, man. Most people know him as Sub Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Some even know him from other movies like The Raid. But nonetheless, his fighting style, his willingness to talk, and throwing in the element that he's a chain smoker, and then the tie-in when you see the lady fighting, you don't know who she is, why she's fighting, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then come to find out that's his wife. And then Taka, the archer dude, has a ring or like the jewelry from her that he
He
kept
took
as
her wedding ring. Yeah.
as a souvenir. And it's like,
I
what?
know.
What are you doing?
I know. I
Oh
love how he
man.
got him at the end. I love that
Oh
fight.
yeah, oh yeah. But the tie-in to all of that, making the pieces fit cohesively without having to do so much of an explanation, like, oh, his wife went out one day, she got caught by
Yeah.
the bad guys tortured. No. Like they let the action speak for itself, so that the audience can draw the conclusion of what transpired. Um, I just love the fact that this storyline, as CJ mentioned, is very, very clear, very distinct, and simplistic in its form. It's all meat and potatoes. There's
Yeah.
no other frilly stuff going on, no extras. Like you can understand what it is. And then of course, it's a strong emotional hook.
Yeah. It is.
Uh being that this guy is a father and he wants to protect his daughter, and not to belittle those who have sons, but the fact that it's his daughter is a special connection,
Yeah.
where she even tells him, like, look, we can even practice martial arts together.
I want
you
to do
know
it
I
because it gives me to do something with you. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just that alone, it just harkened back for me when my daughters were younger, and I was just like, man, we can do this together, and we'll do
Mm-hmm.
this, and I'll get them like, so I could just place myself in that guy's position where I was like, man, you know what? I get it.
Yeah.
Like it's just unspoken, regardless of what language he spoke or didn't speak. Any father, any male who's very present and active in the life of someone else, you get it. I mentioned the cinematography. I mentioned the stunt emphasis and the work that they managed. This is just a very well put together movie, man.
It really
What you
is.
got,
It really
CJ?
is, man. Yo, we're from the beginning. The title, The Furious,
Mm,
right? Like, it's like I remember thinking, like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
the
yeah,
title alone, it just fits it perfectly. Like it's just like The Furious. Cool, I'm in there. Like you said, gets right to the point. 5 minutes in, you're in there. The part in the kickboxing arena fight scene, that whole set piece,
yeah,
it was just so dope. Even down to like when the one guy alerts the rest of his people that they're in there, everybody's
yeah.
throwing bottles at him, and it's like he's dodging the bottles, trying to catch the guy. It's just a very it's like almost an ASMR experience where you're hearing the bottle. Everything is just so
Yeah.
sensory in it, and the way that they got captured the sound of the hammer hitting people, like you always heard that chunk sound. Whoever did the sound quality for this really did their thing. Yo, I love that the kids at the end were a part of their own escape. Like
Yeah.
they also worked to get themselves out of the
I dig that.
situation, which I like that too. Yo, my favorite scene in the whole joint, man, is when Pak Lung, and that's what they call that's Pak Lung, the son-in-law, when they
Hmm.
think they're gonna pin all that on him, and he in the whole movie, because dude is so well dressed, and because he
Yeah,
got
real
the right,
composed
he
and a
got the white
tie.
shirts all the time, and Ty looks like a stockbroker, right? But when they
Hmm.
told him that they was gonna put all that on him, and he was like, "Oh no, y'all thought I was sweet, but I'm not. In fact, I'm a killer." And then just proceeded to kill like five old men in 3 minutes
His father-in-law too at that,
with
man.
him with a sword. Dog.
And didn't
With a
blink.
sword. With a sword. I mean, like,
Intentional.
and
He
then
ran him through.
and then in a movie where you know how talented Wang Wei and Navin are, martial arts standpoint, the
Yeah.
way the son-in-law steps into that film, you know that he's a match for them, which is because in those movies, if you didn't think that the bad guys were as good fighters as the good guys, it would fall apart. But he absolutely is. He might be better than both of them, and it's like you're watching it and you're
He beat
like,
both of
we
them.
might right. So you're like, oh, that was perfect. His character, great. One of the best scenes I've ever seen in martial arts. The 5-man fight at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Wang Wei, Navin, Ho, Tak, and Pak Lung all fighting each other, 2 against 2, 1 against 4. It is so well choreographed, and it's such a display of their each of their unique fighting styles that it's just. I mean, it's very well done, man. Very well done. Salute to the people who made
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
Salute
Definitely.
to the people
Salute
who
to
made it.
them.
Salute to the people who made it, man. What you got on the hate, man?
All right, so it's not much, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But there are a few things. Some of the structure is repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
The viewers may be able to predict some of the scenes.
Yeah,
You know what I
it
mean?
plays out
Coming
like a
into that
Double
joint.
Dragon video game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It does. It feels like
CJ said it.
it feels
CJ
like
said
Double
it.
Dragon when you're watching
You
it.
know, the crazy thing is, like, I was thinking, like, man, this is kind of like Double Dragon. This is kind of like, and CJ mentioned it before in the pre-production meeting. Like, the ball guy kept reminding me of somebody. I couldn't figure out who, just because of like the maneuvers
Mm-hmm.
the maneuvers he was making with his head and the gestures with his hands. CJ said it best. E
It's
Honda.
E
So I
Honda,
was
man.
thinking
Yeah, that's what he's like.
Street Fighter, Tekken,
Yep.
Double Dragon, all in one. It was like an amalgamation. Um, but that was also in a good way too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But still, the repetitiveness and the familiarity could be viewed as something that may be fine tuned. Um, again, like I mentioned, my lady pointed out the lack of realism. Some
Yeah.
of the
Getting hit by the
maneuvers,
sledgehammer. That is, yeah.
yeah,
That was on
like that
mine
would be
too. I had that also. Yeah.
like my man was frozen in a block of ice, and then they throw the hammer, and then his whole head just flips over like
Yo,
nothing onto the joint.
first of all, who kills people by putting them in ice like they Han Solo? Like,
Yo, I was like, this ain't carbonite, man. What is he doing?
why did they do that?
He
See,
said,
they got all these
put him
people
on
in
ice.
ice, frozen.
I mean, whole sheets,
I
man.
know
Like,
it was like they swagger jacked the Empire Strikes
if
Back
they
in that
did.
scene, and it was like,
And
why did
my
they do
thing is,
that?
what you gonna do? You gonna continue to keep this dude on ice like a
I
trophy?
don't
Like,
understand. And then the ice was getting broken, and the people's body parts was breaking off
that's why
with
I
the
say
ice.
like that.
It was crazy.
That was crazy,
Yeah,
you
it
know.
was. It was. It was.
And then there's just an over reliance on certain tropes. Like, there's always a kidnapping,
Mm-hmm.
there's always a corrupt official, like somebody knew about it,
Yeah.
and then there's the revenge arc where there's some type of like thriller action territorial
Mm-hmm.
dispute or whatever have you. But at the same token, it works because
Yeah.
because Navin can say like, look, in that ice scene, we can't kill this guy. He's our only lead. We need him to get further information. If you're going to electrocute him, it should be just to garner information so he'll stop. But then when the tables are turned, when he's like, yo, some journalist. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he tried to. He
Now
cooked.
he's
He's
willing.
cooked Song.
Yeah,
He
he's
did.
willing to
Mr.
have
Song got cooked, man.
barbecue chicken, as Shaq would say, or this would be stir fried or something. I don't know. But the whole point is like he turned it up a whole nother level, and now we're just talking about the very exhausting brutality from that scene to the countless others where
Yeah,
it intensifies. And this is not for the squeamish. This is
yeah.
not
It's
for
not.
those who are easily shaken. Like there is a lot of gratuitous violence in this joint.
It is. It is. Yeah, you're right about the fight scenes maybe going on a bit too long. Um, so it kind of does start to. It's like it hits a point where it's like that was good,
Yeah.
and then it's another 10 minutes after that. So
Hmm.
it definitely does that. Mr.
But
Song.
you made a good point, though. I don't mean to interject.
Mhm,
You did make a good point. When we thought the movie was over and you could have rested,
I did. Yeah. Yeah,
it goes up a whole nother
I thought
level.
it was over when they had gotten all the children out of the
Yeah.
place,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought they were going to put everything on the son-in-law,
Yeah.
and maybe they were going to set up the Furious too, right? Maybe there's like another
Yes.
thing
Yeah.
after that, but then nah, when Pak Lung was like, nah,
Nah.
nah,
I
y'all got
ain't
me
going out like that.
he did the equivalent of like the black like people say like when we say you got me effed up like nah that's
Yeah.
like that's what he was like. He was like, from there on, it was a whole different movie. That was
Mm-hmm.
when I sat up in my chair. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
they serious in this one. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like as far as the stuff I didn't like, Song, I don't think that Navin and Wang Wei would have at least even untied Song. So it was weird because they were electrocuting him, and then the next scene, Song is like
Yeah.
trying to escape.
It's like, yo, meet me at the harbor.
Yeah, I was like, it's almost like they shot those scenes out of line, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We already talked about the sledgehammer. I didn't like Wang Wei bringing Rainey, his daughter, back into the house. I know they were going to save
Yeah.
Yavin, but
But
just leave her outside. The police are there. Why would you bring her back into harm's way?
well, the police were on their way and they're corrupt, and he's probably thinking the best place for her is next to me. Last time I left her alone,
Yeah,
this is what happened.
yeah, it's 100 bad guys though in there, and all of them got knives and bats. And you know what? This movie is like Double Dragon. Everybody's fighting with sticks and bats,
Melee weapons, man.
That's exactly what it is. Maybe that's why I liked it so much, man. All right. This is the other thing. Yo, the kids, okay, when the kids are doing the scene of trying to escape down the side of the building, why didn't they just tie the sheets to the pole? Why is the little boy
Why is he
seeing
holding
like
it?
he's
Yeah.
not strong enough to
And he's
hold
got a
up the
messed
thing?
up leg.
That didn't make any sense whatsoever. Like I was like, the pole was right there. Just tie the string, just tie the rope to the pole.
Day.
What was that? That was like somebody fell asleep on the direction there. And the last thing is like, okay, so Pak Lung, he's bodying Wang Wei, right? And then he just kind of like dumbs
Stops.
out and just kind of passes out and died. I needed something more dramatic. I needed more of a climax there. I mean, like the fight.
I think what happened was he got hit in the head too many times.
Some kind
That's
of
why he
brain
started
damage.
bleeding out of the ears.
But it was just.
But even still, I get
It
you.
was kind of convenient that he died like after he had knocked Wang Wei out, And I was like, when them two kids was like, "We gonna fight you," I was like, they about to get crushed.
Yeah, they're about to get whooped.
They're about to get crushed by this dude. But yeah, man. I mean, it's just it's almost like some things that just weren't executed well, in it. But to your point, none of it takes away from the experience of watching it.
No.
Those things. There was something because I went and saw it with my daughter actually, and we laughed about those things. But overarchingly, it was like, man, the fight scenes were incredible. Like it was just, the violence part, which you mentioned, it reminds me a lot of when we did Monkey Man. So remember, like Monkey Man had that same kind of violence like that. And we did Monkey Man episode 36. And if you've never seen it, it's definitely worth a watch. But it is an extremely graphic and violent fighting film. And I could see how they did it there. I could see how they did it here. I like the fact that all the fighting wasn't so pretty. And I liked that, you know what I mean? But did they drag on a little bit? Yeah, it did a little bit to that. I don't know. So.
But the thing that really killed me, man, is that they killed off my man Navin.
He did. But he went out like a G though, man. He did.
No, he did. Question.
He got Toe or whatever that guy's name. It was a guy.
Talk.
Yeah. He got Talk though, man.
I just wanted to see him though just decapitate dude and just be exhausted and chill on the sidelines and whatever. I didn't want to see him die. Like, you come this far, you put everything together, and now that's it. Like,
Yeah, it was so much blood everywhere though, man. Like he wasn't gonna make it. Like he was
yeah,
like
I
he
know,
would have
man.
needed a whole new body's worth of blood after.
But he
After
always,
that fight.
I kid you not, I think Joe Talisman has in all of his contracts that he has to deal with so much carnage and has to have so much bodily damage inflicted upon his person. Like, I truly believe that, man. Because it was the same thing in Mortal Kombat,
Mm-hmm.
where Sub-Zero was getting his butt whooped by Scorpion after a
Mm-hmm.
while. It's the same thing in the Raid, and now it's the same thing in this joint.
Yeah, we be getting cut to pieces, man.
Yeah, man.
But like like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It would have been great to see him make it out, but to some points that you raise in other films, his death does create stakes.
Exactly.
It did settle in, like, okay, anybody can kind of get.
Anybody can get,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That
And
was
that's a key point though that I want to emphasize. A lot of times in these movies, somebody gets shot in the shoulder and he's still able to go on. No, if you've ever been shot, nah, you need bed rest and you're going to recuperate maybe up to a year. You're not going to continue. I don't care how much adrenaline you got pumping. You getting shot with a 12 gauge in a reasonably close range. You're not getting up and walking that off like, oh, let's go run a mile.
yeah.
No. And at the same token, Navin's character had been exhausted, and him being the voice of reason, if you will, out of the two gentlemen, reaching that threshold where it was like, look, no, I've been consumed by rage. I've been looking for my wife for all these years.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten the answers. I have nothing to live for.
Yeah,
Kind of explains why he would go out in that
Yeah.
manner. So I can rationalize it.
yeah.
I just don't like it.
It was a good death for a movie character.
If there is such a thing,
for a movie character, it was like they said in Man of Steel, a good death is its own reward. Like he got it, man. He got it, and he got the guy that did it. So I mean, like, what
I get
more?
it, man.
What more can you want? You know what I mean? A happy ending? You ain't gonna get it.
That's the sad part, because at the end of the movie, Wang Wei and his daughter Rainey and everybody else, even the little boy, they chilling on the.
I know they adopted the boy, right? Even though the boy got his daughter kidnapped, that was nice.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Even he got redeemed. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm like.
Yeah. It was. Hey, look. I mean, movies are gonna have their things. Some things you like, some things you don't. But the overall execution, just outstanding for this, man.
The execution of the movie, as far as if you're an action adrenaline junkie, this is something you should definitely see.
No doubt, man. All right, I got some questions for you, man. I got 3 questions for you. All right, so the first one: which character's fighting style was your favorite and why?
Wow, that's a dope question. You know what? We just talked about him at length. I'm a double down. My man Joe Talisman Navin style.
I love that fighting style. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason being is, like, he can be overpowering. He can be flexible. He goes straight forward. But he knows how to counter, even counter a counter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's able to hold his own by matching anyone else's style. You know what I mean? It seems like the most dexterous out of all of the other styles going on.
Yeah, it's like a judo mixed with a striking style. Yeah. And I like that it's distinctly different from the other ones that you see in the movie too. Yeah, that's a good one, man. That's it's definitely between him and Pac Lungs. I like Pac Lung with them feet. He like feats of fury, man. He
stomped you out.
Yeah, he
literally
did. Yeah,
kick you to death.
Right. He literally kick you to death and stomp on your chest and everything.
Yeah.
He's like the boss on level 8 of Double Dragon. He's like the one right before the final guy. All right, next question. All right, so this one I want you to just think about how this kind of goes, right? All right, so this is, let's say Ip Man is in this movie. Okay, so Ip Man.
Shout out to Donnie Young.
Ip Man is going to fight in order: Ho, Navin, Pac Lung, and then Wang Wei. How far does Ip Man get?
Oh, he clears all of these dudes.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think so? Tell me why.
Yeah.
Why?
The guy who trained Bruce Lee? Yeah. Oh, man.
Okay, so we're going with prime young Ip Man. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, no, definitely not when he's on the verge of dying.
Okay, prime young Ip Man. Okay.
No. I'm talking about, like,
Who do
Yo,
you think would be the toughest fight for Ip Man of
we
those
just
four?
talked about him, man.
You think it
My
would
man
be
with the leg kicks
Pac
of
Lung?
death.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
And the reason being is like, one, he just seems lightning quick
He
and
was.
fast, and there's a difference. Like he's fast and quick. He's able to like respond, and he takes it to you. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't sitting back and waiting on a counter. Like no, he's like, no, I'm the aggressor. I'm dictating terms, and I'm gonna put you on your back, and then I'm gonna stomp you out. Like you're not getting up.
And you know what? That also makes me have to just point out the benefit of using real martial artists
Mm,
means that what you're watching them actually do. Because even with
yeah,
Pac
no,
Lung, there were times when I'm watching it and I was almost thinking it was sped up. But then when you watch the rest of the frame, you realize it's not being sped up.
no,
He's
that's
just,
them.
to your point, that fast, right? So that's
Yeah,
like, yeah, that's a good point, man. I can say I would love to see that, man. They should make a.
definitely,
So my daughter was like, yo, if they made a video game with all these characters, I would play it
all
because
the
that
time.
all of those different fighting styles, it was just like it's like watching Street Fighter in real life. All right,
Yeah, it
man.
would sell itself.
So this is my last question, man. It's a question I feel like we've asked about different movies like this when we covered them. These movies are so beloved the world
Mhm.
over, right? They sell big overseas. It's doing very well here. Why don't they make more of these? Why aren't there more movies like this, man?
You say it all the time, Berserker. Nobody
They
wants to. They don't want your money.
keep giving you stuff
No.
that you don't want.
Yeah, no. Who asks for half the stuff that we get, man?
Yeah,
Like
that's
real
true.
talk.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
this is no knock on any. Here's let me retry. All right. I was watching the making of Batman recently.
Hmm.
And just the care and the details that go into movie production.
Hmm.
Only to end up with someone like us, saying, "Oh, I didn't like that," or "I did like." No, these are
Right. Yeah.
these
No. No.
these are labors of love. They
Yeah.
take time,
Hmm.
like from the script to just like the payroll aspect, like the accountants making sure that the vendors get paid and the actors get paid,
Hmm.
the key grips, the sound, the lighting. Like these are very intense, and they create 13,000, 15,000, 20,000 jobs
Hmm.
for 6 months, 9 months, a year, oftentimes. Um, but I say that to say the detail to which these movies would have to undergo on a regular basis and to use trained actors,
Yeah.
these guys there would be scheduling conflicts. They would have to heal. I've seen Jackie Chan make some movies or whatever, I forget which one, and he ended up hurting himself, and then they had to take time off in order for him to heal.
Yeah.
Shoot, look at
Tom Cruise
Tom Cruise.
breaking his ankle.
Yeah,
Yeah, on the Mission
yeah.
Impossible joints. Yeah.
So like just the things that it would take in order to repeat these things, and there's a market that is almost taking ownership, possession, like this is mine. You can go do the next Avengers movie or whatever, but I want this. So I think because it's so closed off, like mangas, like anime and all that, like most people look at those people as weird or nerds or
Hmm.
whatever. Like they're on the outskirts. I don't think Hollywood is yet to embrace that because that's not a cultural norm. It's not part of the fabric of, hey, here's a bunch of Asians. They're demure supposedly, but their diminutive stature has them looking more aggressive, more pronounced, more of an action star hero. And typically, action star heroes come from the U.S. or
Yeah.
have that
Yeah. I
U.S.
see what your
cowboy
point you're making.
mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see the point that you're making there. Okay. Cool. That's what I got for your questions, Wise man. What you got for me?
All right. So I have a couple, actually three for you. Does The Furious intentionally strip its narrative down to its bare essential in order to redefine what an action film needs to function?
It's an educational thing, man. It really is. There have been times where I've seen films that I just wanted them to get to the work. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And this movie, it does that. And there is, it's something that, simple doesn't not mean good. Something can be simple and great. And this movie executes on it. Great story,
prime example.
very easy to follow, very defined good, evil, not trying to blur the lines, not trying to make you think Pac Lung is the way he is because he was abused as a kid. No, you know what I'm saying? It's like he's very clearly a sociopath, and that's it,
Mm.
and that's good. You know what I mean? They don't even bother to tell you why Juan Wade doesn't talk. They can't even,
No.
it's not even a thing. They don't even you never know, and you don't care because the story is done
Nope.
so well that his being mute actually is a good context of the story because it forces him to communicate with his daughter in a certain way, forces him to write things down. When he actually says what his name is by using the chalk on the ground, it
Yeah.
feels more significant, man. So less is more, and the movie executes on that.
Dope response, man. Can the fight choreography be read as a form of storytelling equal to dialogue or plot progression?
Yes, it can. And when I was watching it, what I was thinking was this is why it's called martial arts. Because
Mm.
the art style of it is when it's executed like that, it does look like dancing, it does look like rhythm, but it's also just a beautiful thing to see. So it's like the idea of how effortlessly, especially in that 5-person fight scene, all five of them are moving
Dope.
around each other, keeping track of who they're fighting with, who they're fighting against, is just so well done. It's like watching a group of people dancing, like all kind of doing the same thing or doing something different, but it correlates to each other. It was just a beautiful thing to see, man. The fighting style itself is an art form to watch. That's part of the reason why it's such a captivating film.
I dig it, man. Last question. How does the film use distinct fighting styles to communicate personality, ideology, or emotional state without exposition?
Yeah, I mean, it's so yeah. So I mean, so you have Ho like we said, he fights like E Honda. His fighting style is very physical, a lot
Yeah.
based on strength, a lot based on blunt contact, a lot of punches, not so many kicks, and he uses his head, right? Wang Wei, who like looks like he's doing a form of Wing Chun, is a close quarter fighter, lots of hits, lots of
Yeah.
punches, but doesn't necessarily do as much damage. But he gets you with all like the flow of what he's doing. Then you see with Nat Nalen, what am I
Naven.
Naven. Naven, judo, he's got to get close to you. He's got to grab you and pull you in. He starts off the film pretending to be something that he's not, to grab you, to pull you in so
Hmm.
that he can do what he wants to do with you. Then, with Pac Lung, his fighting style is so elegant that it matches how he looks during the fight. He's fighting in a suit. He's
Yeah.
in a dress suit with a shirt with the button unbuttoned, giving people work in Kenneth Cole boots. I mean, it's elegant and it's also classy and it's also deadly. And then my man Taka is fighting in an Adidas sweatsuit. He's
Reminds me
using
of Bruce
he's
Lee for a
got he's
minute.
got he's got knives all over his body, apparently everywhere, and he's fighting with a bow and arrow. And it's like
Who does that?
but it's a mismatch of styles. His sneakers don't even match the rest of his outfit, but neither does him being in there with a bow and arrow in 2026. So it all works. You know what I mean? Like it's just a very the
22.
the images of how everybody looks doing the fighting is
Oh
just it
man.
matches up well, man.
Oh man, that is bugged out, man.
It's
That
it's
is bugged
it's
out.
good, man. All right, man. So that brings us to the cake, right, man? I mean, not to the cake.
Oh,
Sorry, it brings us to
to the
the popcorn.
popcorn.
To the popcorn. So what you got on this, man?
Yo, I was at 4. I'm going to 4.5 now, man.
You got to
Just by
do
this
it.
conversation alone.
You got to do it.
Everything that you want in a martial arts,
You got to do it.
physical thriller, action type of movie. This movie delivers on, and it delivers on it like tremendously. The action goes up another level.
Mm-hmm.
The scenery,
Mm-hmm.
the use of lighting, which is underrated in this film. The close quarters combat when it shines the light on one person
Yep.
and you see glimmers on the next. The even though we mock the ice scene because of the guy on ice, that works. Like every scene details something about the characters, whether they're
Yeah.
cold blooded or they're ice cold. Like they're down the business. There's no warm feelings, all the way to being on the ride of garbage and junk.
Yeah.
Where how they feel that the kids' lives are disposable and that you're trying to reclaim something, to refurbish it, to repurpose it. Like every scene fits with what's going on or trying to portray as the movie progresses.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, it is. I'm giving it 4.5 also. Same. We've been talking about there's so many movies that have been coming out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I always think about is after I've seen the movie, was it worth the time that I was in there? Was it worth the
Right.
money? Was it worth the car ride? Was it worth the gas prices? All those things. This absolutely delivers on it. And
Yes.
this is one of the movies that I've seen so far this year where I think the rewatchability of this is going to be even more crazy after it. Like, we talked a
Oh,
little bit
no
about
question.
the Raid and the Raid 2 and how you can watch the whole movie or you can just watch the scene in the kitchen, the fight scene in Raid 2, right? There will be scenes in this movie that people will be watching for the next 10 or 15 years and pointing back to that and saying, look at the execution of this martial arts in it. That's how good it is. It's definitely worth the money. It's definitely worth the watch, and it's definitely worth the rewatch, which is a whole nother category of movies altogether. So it's 4.5 for me too as well. Mr. Will, what you got on the hot takes, man? I don't have a hot take for this one, man, other than go see it. What's it? That's my hot take. Go see this joint. You will not be
Oh
disappointed. If you like martial arts, you will not be disappointed seeing this.
no, and I can second that. But I think this is a dope movie for a multitude of reasons. The simplicity helps to explain something that's far more complex. The reality is that this is a traditional revenge movie, yes. However, this is also about the various systems that are in place and their failure. Chiefly amongst them is to protect those that are the most vulnerable of our society, which are children.
Mm-hmm.
And there used to be a code: no women, no kids, those, and the disabled and the elderly. Like certain demographics were off limits, and this was understood. But all of that has changed as society has uh, been more in decay as the years have progressed. And that scene that CJ highlighted, where he said to the father-in-law, he was like, "Look, the scene preceding it is the father-in-law says, look, it's come to our attention that there's a problem, and the chief of police is here to explain it to you. What's going on?" And even in that realm, there's a sense of respect where the son-in-law says, "Hey, look, I get it. My bad. Um, I own this, and I'll try to make it right. But just know that our profits haven't suffered.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten countermeasures in place. We moved the kids off site, et cetera, et cetera." Fast forward to the scene that CJ's talking about, and all of a sudden it's like, "Hey, look, what's going on here?" Like, now we got this undue heat. You're gonna have to take the rap for this. And the son-in-law easily retorts with, "Nah, you got it. You got me messed up. Like, that's not
Ah,
that's not how any of this
that's
is gonna go
that's
down."
not what's about to happen.
Yeah, none of that is what's about to happen. What is going to happen though is I'm going to take all of you out so I don't have to answer to you anymore. And then
Yeah.
I'm going to go handle that problem over there at the police station. And now I'm going to be running things with my right hand man, the archer, the Asian Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we get this thing in order, we're going to get them kids back and running. Now, this is a movie that embraces villainy. This
Mm-hmm.
echoes the same sentiment in the real world where we have, all of a sudden evil is winning. Evil individuals are now assisting in the downfall of things in society that were once pillars, once were staples of this is not what we do, this is not what we're about. The movie even furthers along the emphasis of silence being enough to speak volumes. So how do you combat that element that is despicable? No more words. We're getting straight down to action. And Wing Wei, his whole mantra is, "Nah, I'm about that life, and you're going to see exactly why and how I'm about that. And regardless of the personal sacrifices I have to make, I'm going to bring this to fruition." And I think that's what we need more of, to take an example, to take a stand, to emulate some of the actions in this movie by taking action.
There it is. There it is, man. Yo, that is our review of The Furious. It is in theaters now. We strongly recommend that you go and check it out. You probably have not seen a commercial for it. You probably won't, but you should definitely go see it. When you're in the movie theater and you walking on your way to go see The Mandalorian and Grogu, and you see that theater way in the
When you're
back
walking away.
that says The Furious, that's where you should be going. Trust and believe that. Um, yo, with that said, we're done for this episode. The Sticky Force podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify Podcasts. We're on YouTube, where we want you to like, subscribe, and share. Next week, we will be back with Supergirl. Man, the summer movie train continues. We're going to see how that goes, and we'll see you next week. Peace.